Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Super Play NegativeAE, and welcome back to Steins Gate 0. Last we left off, Daru just entered the room. Hello, Daru. Hello. Oh, you're here, Mahotan. Don't call me that. Do I have enough? 1, 2, 3. He ignores Maho's complaint and started to count the number of people in the room. There's some kind of paper bag in his hands. Okay, I've gotten enough. Enough what? So you know how they opened a new atoll in front of the station? They were selling some good-looking pudding. I thought it might be a nice treat, so I brought enough for everybody. You know what I just realized? I'll tell you guys in a second. He put the bag down, opened the box, and started putting out the pudding cups on the table. Daru, do it later. Why do you all look so upset? It's rare for me to buy something for everybody. Well, I guess it is. But I got some extra work at my lab, you see. Not only am I talented, but I'm also kind-hearted, and I get paid. What the fuck? Feel free to fall in love, ladies. Huh? He turned the bag over and started shaking it. I'm missing a spoon. I bet the staff forgot to put one in. I don't like Daru's voice. Everybody else has good voices. I mean, Daru's voice actor kills it with like the voice that he has, but it's like weird to me. It's like different than the last one. I think there's a clean spoon in the sink. Should you just call it my spoon? Is there a word in Japanese for spoon? There's gotta be, right? Lukaku stood up to get a spoon from the sink and then suddenly stopped. He looked at Kagari with a confused expression.
Kagari-san, my spoon nante
what the fuck is my spoon? Yo, that's freaking me out. Kagari, do you own a spoon? I thought all you had with you was the Upa keychain, right? That's right, isn't it? That's strange. Why did I say I had one? Her own spoon. I'd heard someone say that before. Not many people carried their own spoons around. It was very common in Japan to carry around your own personal set of chopsticks lately, but not spoons. But I knew. I had known someone who carried around her own spoon. It was... Okay, this isn't what I was thinking at all. Disregard what I was gonna say. Just a moment ago, she called Maho senpai. Did Kagari know Kurisu after all? Hey, Hiyajo. How many people called you senpai in America? Just one. It's a Japanese word and a Japanese concept. There's no need to even ask who it was. The only one who called me senpai was Kurisu. Kurisu. Does she remember? Kagari, do you know a girl named Kurisu Makise? I like the way the Japanese do it. Makise Kurisu sounds way better than Kurisu Makise? That's stupid. Do you know her? Was she intimidating her? But why would she need to do that? Kagari seemed to be desperately searching through her memories, but it didn't seem to be working. There was sweat on her forehead and the headache might still be bothering her. Don't force yourself. There's no need to remember immediately. No, it feels creepy leaving it like this. Do you feel like you can remember something? I don't know. Try say something, Okari. Huh? What? What's going on here? So she has false memories, probably, right? She has, like, Kurisu implanted in her. They shut down the project, but then, like, Dr. Leskinen probably put Kurisu in her. But then she had amnesia because shit went wrong. Oh, dude, what if? That's probably what it is. I'm calling it right now. She probably has false memories, and that's what's going on here. The question was this: what had Kagari been doing ever since she was separated from Suzuha in 1998? If she never met Maho, did she ever meet Kurisu? Maybe she became friends with Kurisu and learned a lot about her, and then she'd forgotten Kurisu's stories mixed up with her own memories? Or I remember the machine that Kurisu had developed in the Alpha World line and came up with a certain hypothesis. Quickly, I told myself it was impossible. Are we talking about, like, sending an email, but, like, she has her phone, and then, like, it jumps into her? But because it, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be crazy? It's like Kurisu sent an email to the past, but Kurisu doesn't exist here. And the number attached to Kurisu's number is Kurisu's phone. Or not Kurisu, freaking Kagari's phone. And then Kurisu jumped into Kagari's body, but because it's a different body, her mind won't blank. And that's why she has amnesia and she can't tell. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy? Kagari, let me ask you some questions. For now, I wanted to learn about how much Kagari knew about Kurisu. Where's your father? Did he die when I was a kid? If her memories were mixed with Kurisu, she wouldn't say that. Those were Kagari's memories. Okay. So, she has false memories. It's not the second thing. She said she remembered everything from before she was 10 years old. She'd only lost her memories after she separated from Suzuha in 1998. I'd have to go a little deeper. What does the word Kuri Gohan mean to you? Answer me, please, Kagari.
Kuri Gohan. Kamehameha.
Everyone else seemed confused, but I felt if it's frickin' Okabe's having a mini heart attack over here. How could she know? Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha. Well, I mean, if you watch anime, frickin' what's Kurisu's ad channel handle? Not only did she keep that a secret, she almost never let anyone know that she posted on ad channel. She never would have told anyone. How could Kagari know something that only Kurisu should know? More sweat was pouring down Kagari's forehead. Luca offered her a handkerchief, worried. Kagari took it and nodded. Okay. It's backwards. Can you tell me how many major theories of time travel there are? Maho looked like she wanted to say something, but I motioned for her to stay quiet. 11. Kagari spoke clearly, as if the answer was the most obvious thing in the world. 11 in total. Wait, is that right? I hadn't expected much when I asked the question, but I certainly hadn't expected that. The terrifying possibility I thought of earlier was becoming more and more real. It was impossible, it had to be. The more that I tried to convince myself, the more my fears grew. I just shut my door. Can you tell me what these 11 theories are? Neutron star theory, and then black hole theory, light speed theory, tachyon theory, wormhole theory, exotic matter theory. Kagari was counting with her fingers and speaking with very little hesitation. Cosmic string theory, quantum gravity theory, cesium laser theory, elementary particle ring and laser theory, and lastly, Dirac antiparticle theory. Yeah. Maho's voice was hoarse.
Okabe-san.
Tell me, Okabe, how do I know all this? Kagari looked like she was about to cry a little. Can I ask you one more thing? Could you use those theories to build a time machine? I don't think so. Oh, but even if you couldn't use these 11 theories, science may invent a new theory that works someday. Why do you think so? Why? That's because... I don't know. Let me ask another question. How did you arrive at that conclusion? I don't know. Just somehow I knew. She knew, huh? That meant the knowledge existed inside of her. But why did she have that knowledge? Had she been to Victor Krondia at some time in the past and met Kurisu there? Maybe they were close friends? So close that Kurisu would share her @channel nickname, and which she never told anyone? And then perhaps she mistook what she heard from Kurisu for her own memories? No. That was the most... No, it is not the most obvious possibility. It's the most logical possibility, but it's not obvious. It's definitely not what happened. Kurisu said she didn't really have any close friends in America. She seemed to have developed a solid relationship with Maho at work, but the dark fear in my mind kept growing. Hey, Hyajo. Remember how you said Amadeus was put on hold? Does the uploaded memory data for Kurisu still exist? Yeah, probably. I don't think it was erased. How many people could access that? Very few. They never really announced it anywhere. Myself, Dr. Leskinen, a few other assistants, and Kurisu. Another question. Would it be possible to transfer that memory data to a human brain? In the other world line, Maho herself, or Dr. Leskinen, to be precise, had said something about that at the ATF seminar, and I had experienced it myself. Through a machine that digitized human memories and sent them through time and then back to the same person's brain. It didn't exist in this world line, but I had once lived in a world where it was developed in this very room. I'd used it far more times than I ever wanted to. And because of that experience, I had come up with an idea. A terrifying idea. Another way to explain what was happening to Kagari right now. False memory. What are you getting at? Kurisu was the one who had her own personal spoon. She was the one who called you senpai at school. Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's handle on @channel, and I'm the only one who knew about it besides her. Kurisu would know about the lab at Victor Krondia. She would know about the mouse experiments. She would know about the 11 theories of time travel. Okarin, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? This is my idea. I looked around the room at everyone and then back at Kagari. It's very possible that you have Kurisu Makise's memories inside of you. Oh boy. Oh boy. What does this mean? Isn't this ideal? Well, no. Because the world still goes to World War III, so we gotta end. Suzuha just kind of reminded me of that. Kagari has Kurisu Makise's memories? Suzuha didn't seem as surprised as I had expected. Maho and I asked her some more questions after that. About Victor Krondia, about her research. Her answers were all over the place. Some things she knew and some things she didn't. But some of the things that she knew were only things that Maho and Kurisu would have known. In the end, instead of being overturned, my hypothesis came out even stronger. All the questions seemed to tire Kagari out, and with Tenoshi's permission, Lukaku took her home. Maho completely refused to accept what I was saying, but did say before she left that she'd look into whether it was possible to transfer Amadeus's memories into a human brain. And that night I had explained the situation to Suzuha. So you mean Kagari has two personalities?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. The proper word for multiple personalities is dissociative identity disorder. That's when additional personalities are created within the person themselves. It's like you're upset or uneasy about who you are, so you make another personality within yourself. Once in a while there would be a case where someone would take the personality of a man or woman they admired, but usually it was a completely original one. But that's not what's going on in Kagari's case. She doesn't have her personality. What she's got is, quite literally, only Kurisu's memories. It's possible that Kurisu's memories are mixed in with her own. Kagari's memories weren't overwritten. She still had them. So they had mixed together. 2036's technology, that's certainly possible. And Kagari's a time traveler from that year, it's a possibility. But she has her memories from when she was 10, right? If they put someone else's memories into her head, she should remember that, right? I think I remember her saying once in a while back then that she heard the voice of God. Hallucination. It's possible that that's a product of Kurisu's memories leaking out. But the future wasn't as peaceful as this era. There weren't enough people and there weren't enough supplies. Even if they did have a memory transfer technology, it would have been a military secret. I can't imagine them using it on a civilian, especially a kid. Kagari was a war orphan. There's no chance that it was used to cure her PTSD. That wouldn't explain why they'd want to transfer someone else's memories into her. That's right. Which means it's more likely that it was done during the time that she had no memories between 1998 and now. Even if it's possible in 2036, is it possible right now? Kurisu could do it. She's done it all by herself to make the time loop machine after all. So Makise Kurisu transferred her own memories to Kagari. Why would she do that? It's like something a mad scientist would do. There was no way. It was impossible, it had to be. There weren't many people as smart as Kurisu Makise. If she didn't do it, I couldn't imagine anyone else would. Dr. Leska. That's right. Getting ahead of myself. I agree. Might have been getting too attached to my own idea. But there's no doubt that Kagari knows things only Kurisu could know. Maybe like Makishi's soul became a ghost and possessed her? The fuck? Don't even think of saying that around Yajo. She'll laugh in your face. Desuone? So I see. In the end, I realized that there was nothing I could do for Kagari but watch for a while to see how things went. We were just students without any kind of specialized knowledge. No matter how much we debated or what ideas we came up with, we wouldn't be able to find the answer easily. Come to think of it, Daru, what's Yuki up to? Amanishi's busy with work every day, it looks like. What does she do again? She works at a cake bakery, I heard. She said it's really good. We should go and check it out. That's right, but it's a little far away, isn't it? That's why she'd be happy if you went, right? Get a grip, Dad. Isn't it really late? Oh, my bad. Wait, Okarin, why are you asking anyway? Oh, no reason. I was just curious. That girl in the motorcycle suit. Could that have been Yuki Amane? I still hadn't convinced myself it wasn't her. If it was, she may be involved in some way what was happening to Kagari. But that attack only took place in the other world line. I'm confused. A little bit. a tiny bit confused. But I'm gonna keep reading. It happened in this one, so I had no way to tell. If there was something she... Is there something going on with Mom?
Yeah.
No, it's nothing. We still didn't have any proof. Just have to keep an eye on her. My priority right now is Kagari. What had happened during the time when she lost her memory? If I could find that out, I might be able to understand what was about to happen to us. I'm confused because wasn't Kagari Yuki in disguise? Or I mean, Kagari took the form of Yuki in the last one, but like, what's happening here? Okay, I'm going to get started. Ready? Maho came into the lab again the next day. She was there to look at Kagari's memories. Kagari had volunteered to work with her. As of yesterday, my hypothesis was still just a hypothesis. At any time she saw a hypothesis, she wanted to test it. Maybe that's just how scientists were. First, can you look at this? Maho held up a cell phone. There's a picture displayed on its screen. It's a corridor with white walls and clean floors, and two people wearing white lab coats were walking down. Do you know where this is? School? Which school? Victor Krondia University. Do you know who this is in front? Tony Brown. His nickname is JB because he does this weird little dance when he gets excited. Then he's the girl. I don't know. Well, she's pretty famous among scientists. Kurisu would definitely know her. Looks like even if Kagari does have Kurisu's memory, she can't recall them all perfectly. That's how it had seemed yesterday too. Maybe there's some things she can remember and other things she can't. That doesn't mean we can say for sure that these are Kurisu's memories yet. What? Girl? You're cool. Anyone could find out about these two with a little research, I guess. Kagari, can I ask you some more questions? Last winter, Kurisu and I went to see a movie. You and Kurisu did. Is that surprising? Even we need a break sometimes. Normally all we do is work. It was surprising, actually. I hadn't thought they'd interacted outside of work. I was hitting a little wall in my research, so she took me out. She said she just happened to have 2 tickets. That's just like how a man asks a girl on a date. She never was any good with this stuff. Do you know what the title of the movie was? Bob Weiner's His and Her Foreboding? What the fuck kind of movie is that? Maho gulped. That must have been the right answer. Is that a new movie? I've never heard of it. It's 20 years old. This was a revival showing. Kagari had guessed it. She'd known the title of a movie that Kurisu and Maho had gone to see together in private. And since it wasn't a major worldwide release, it wasn't something that you could get lucky with a guess. But somebody could have witnessed it. Sure, but how would they know that you were going to ask that question? Are you saying she memorized every little bit, every tiny little bit of information you could possibly ask about? It would be impossible, and she didn't have a reason to bother anyway. It's not like I don't know that. I could tell from her pained expression on her face that Maho was struggling with something. And I was starting to realize what it was. She didn't want to admit it. She didn't want to admit that it was possible. It was winter, but Kagari's forehead was dripping with sweat again. Going through her confused memories may have been putting a lot of stress on her. That's enough. This looks like it's hard on Kagari. Hard. Wait, just let me ask one more question. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Kagari nodded and motioned for her to go ahead. What was your greatest treasure when you were a kid? When I was a kid. Even after you moved to America, you always kept it in your room. A stuffed dolphin. My dad bought it for me when we went to the aquarium. Maho sighed and sunk into the sofa. Is she right? Yep. Kurusu's mom told me about it on the phone last night. The only people who knew about that were Kurusu and her parents. Then, I hate to admit it, but this hypothesis of yours, I can't rule it out. What's going to happen to me? I didn't have an answer. I didn't even know how this happened in the first place. The only possibility I could think of was... Kagari, sorry to make you go through all this. Get some rest. Maho stood up with a serious expression on her face. You're leaving? Yeah. There's still some things I can check on my own. Okay. See you later. Maho got up and went for the door without bothering to look back. She seemed to be silently shutting out the entire world. All we could do was watch her go. Maho Hiajo stared at the computer and monitor in a daze. The rest of the world had been feeling the afterglow of the New Year's excitement. The last time she'd come to Japan, it was still in the heat of summer. She'd used her vacation days to come then. Her co-worker, Makise Kurusu, had suddenly died, and she wanted to see the place where she was murdered herself. Maho's feelings for Kurusu Makise were complicated. Until Kurusu had come to her lab, Maho thought herself a genius. She'd graduated high school after skipping grades and joined a university lab while still in her teens. It was understandable that she'd feel that way. Everyone else was a genius, said she was a genius too. But her pride shattered into tiny little pieces by the arrival of Makise Kurusu. Makise Kurusu was the real thing. Maho didn't even come close to her. She had realized that she could never be as smart as Kurusu. And she realized that she didn't want to be beaten by her anyway. It would have been so much easier if she could have hated her. It would have been so much easier to hate Kurusu. But Makise Kurusu wouldn't allow her that much. She was a dedicated scientist, and that dedication carried her over to the treatment of Maho too. Maho, I think your research has the potential to change the world. If there's anything I can do to help, I will. Just say the word. Someday, she swore, she'd surpass her. Someday, she swore, she'd make Kurusu say that she was the smarter one. But now that would never happen. Kurusu Makise went away on her trip and never came back. Maho had been told that she'd been attacked by a robber and killed. But it did seem real. It felt like she'd come back to the lab any day now and start arguing with the professors with that same self-satisfied smirk on her face. Until then, Maho would work on the Amadeus project so that Kurusu, or when Kurusu came back, she would be amazed. Amadeus. An artificial intelligence that could be loaded with an individual's memories. It was possible to digitize memories by analyzing the nerve signals relating to the memories stored in the temporal lobe. If it had been Kurusu, of course. It had been Kurusu, of course, who had proved it. And then Maho and her team had turned that proof into usable technology. By the time Kurusu got back, she would have it all ready for the next level. She'd show it to Kurusu and astonish her. But even that hope didn't last long. She was suddenly told that the project was cancelled. Of course, she couldn't accept it. But no matter what she said, no matter how many times she argued with the professor, she couldn't get the cancellation overturned. Amadeus went to sleep in the bottom of the lab server, along with Kurusu Makise's digitized memories. Kurusu Makise's memories. Now they were in the head of another girl. How had that happened? There was only one possibility, if it was possible at all. Just like Rintaro Okabe had said.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Foreshadowing. She opened the door, and a large man she knew very well came inside.
Maho,
Maho, what's wrong? I thought you were still on your New Year's holiday. What about you, Professor? What are you doing here on your day off? Maho's mentor, Dr. Leskinen, was here in Japan for a month-long conference on artificial intelligence. Maho had come with him as his assistant. But the conference didn't take place every day, so they spent time between sessions at the Japanese office, making presentation materials and exchanging emails. In my case, I don't have to do much on my days off, or I don't have much to do on my days off. It's no fun sitting in the hotel, so I might as well come here and work. Then I guess I'm the same. For a researcher, doing research was a hobby. If nothing else, all the scientists Maho knew were like that. Of course, she'd come here today because she'd assumed that Dr. Leskinen would feel that way. You have a lot of things to do, don't you? Dating, for instance. Professor, if you keep that up, I'm going to sue you for sexual harassment. Anything but that. Dr. Leskinen slumped his shoulders in a unique way that Caucasians always overreacted. He seemed intent on bringing Maho and Okabe together. She and Okabe were both friends of Kurusu's, so they talked a lot. But there was nothing more to it than that. At least, that's what she thought. Probably. Alright. In lieu of an apology, can I ask you something? Anything if it'll keep me out of court. Alright. What's going on with Amadeus right now? You should know the answer to that. Right now there's no plans to continue the project. I know that. What I'm asking is, what happened to the Amadeus data? It's saved on the lab server, right? Nobody else accessed it or took it out? Leskinen's eyes narrowed, and he slowly shook his head. Maho, I don't know where you got that idea, but Amadeus access is limited to only a few people, and as far as I know, no one else has touched it. If nothing else, I haven't received any reports about it. Then the same goes for my and Kurusu's memory data? Of course. Then, is it possible there's some other AI project going on that I don't know about? Of course not. You're the most important member of our research team. We've lost Kurusu. And it was a big loss, but I think you're the only one who can take her place. So there's no way I'd start a new project without you knowing, right? I see. The compliment felt like a bit too much for her to take at face value. There were a lot of scientists who were always looking up to get a leg on the competition. That was a weird sentence that I just read. If someone else got the glory first, everything you worked for on until that point would be useless. Even in the same team, there were only a few people you could really trust. But to Maho, Dr. Leskinen was one of those people. Fuck. Will that do for an answer? Yes. Then may I ask you something? Where did this come from, all of a sudden? I don't know if he's evil in this one or not. I don't know what his MO is. Like, why is he's like the biggest mystery in this game. He's like, is he evil? Is he not evil? Like, what the fuck is going on with Dr. Leskinen? Are you worried that someone might have access to your secrets? Yeah, something like that. Then you don't need to worry. Amadeus was developed so as to not share any secrets the original wouldn't want shared. And the same goes for the save data. Even if someone did steal it, the parts that the original person wants to keep secret are most kept within a black box. That can't be accessed via Amadeus or the memory data itself. If those secrets get out, it's because a living human wanted them to. A living human. That's right, the original person themselves. In other words. Well, feel better? Yeah, I guess so. It wasn't that she couldn't, or she didn't trust Dr. Leskinen, but that she couldn't relax until she'd seen for herself that no one had taken the data. Maho only thought that it was possible to believe something after you'd seen it yourself. That's how she thought a scientist should be. But right now, she didn't have the access rights to do so. So in the end, she was stuck with her doubts. She knew this was going to happen, but she couldn't stop herself from asking anyway. What the fuck, is every villain here? All the villains are here. Dr. Reyes walked through the door just as she finished her conversation with the professor. Jesus Christ. I said Jesus Christ. Christ, don't you know it's a holiday? What about you, Dr. Reyes? I've got nothing to do in my hotel. Mao exchanged a glance with Dr. Leskinen and then shrugged. That's just how scientists were. What? What? What's going on? It's nothing. She and Dr. Leskinen laughed at Reyes' confusion, but the doubts in her mind lingered. That's a weird place to switch scenes. 37 minutes. Kurisu's memories were inside Kagari's head. Several days had passed since I'd begun to suspect my hypothesis was correct. I'm sorry, Okurin. It caused a lot of trouble for you. No, it's nothing, really. And I think Lukaku and Mayori are doing a lot more for you than me. In fact, Mayori and Lukaku were doing a very good job of taking care of her. Mayori may not have realized it, but Kagari looked up to her as a mother figure. And after living under the same roof for so long, Lukaku had come to care for her a lot. That's not true. All I'm doing is giving her someone to talk to. Mayushi's sorry that she can't do more, you know? No, that's not true. Luca's being really nice, and just having Mommy around makes me happy. Mayori fidgeted in embarrassment when she heard the word Mommy. I could understand why. It must feel strange to be called Mommy at her age, especially by someone who was older than she was. Hey, Mommy. What is it? Can I give you a hug? A hug? Can I give you a hug like you always used to do for me when I was little? I'm blushing. I can't? No, go ahead. Mayori smiled and nodded. Kagari gave her a big hug with a huge grin on her face. Kagari, you're such a good girl. Mayori never asked for the details, but she seemed to sense what was happening to Kagari. She probably understood that this was the best thing she could do right now.
Mama.
It was strange. Kagari was a lot older, but when they were like this, they really did look like mother and child.
Arigato, Mama.
Thank you, Mommy. Kagari slowly moved away from Mayori. She looked a lot calmer than she had a moment ago. It was probably okay to talk to her now.
それで Kagari.
So, Kagari, how are you
調子は
doing?
どうだ?
調子
How am I doing?
調子か
I guess I don't know.
よくわからないとは?
You don't know.
ふとした瞬間に思い出すこ
Sometimes I
とが
find
あ
myself
るんだ
remembering
けど
things, but I don't know if
それ
they're
が
Kurusu's
自
memories
分
of my own.
難しい数式とか
Complicated
実験
formulas,
とか
experiments.
理解
It's
は
like I
で
don't
きてない
understand
んだ
them, but I
け
know
ど
them.
知ってるみたいな
Kagari's only memories were her time as a child and the time since Lukaku's father's friend had found her. Kurusu's memories would appear sometimes and fill the gap in between. I couldn't even imagine how that must have felt.
ねこの前もねパパのこ
Just a
とを
while ago, I
思い
remembered
出したの
Daddy.
子供の頃
It was when
パパ
Daddy
に
told
褒め
me
られ
I
た
did
時
good
の
when I
記
was little.
憶それを思い出してなんだ
I remember
か
that
す
and
ご
it
く
made me
嬉し
really
かった
happy.
んだけどでも私赤ちゃんの
But my
頃
parents
に
died when I
両
was a
親死
baby,
んじゃっ
and
たし
then Mommy
それか
Maori
ら
raised
は
me.
マユリママに育てて
And
も
I
ら
don't
った
know
か
who my
ら
dad is.
だけど自分が
But
経
even though it
験し
wasn't
た
my
こ
own
とじゃないの
experiments,
に褒めら
I
れ
really
て
felt
嬉し
happy
い
when he
っていう
praised me.
感情そう考えてると
And that just made my head feel all funny.
ごちゃってなっちゃって
Kagari had grimaced and held her head in her hands. The first time I'd met her, I'd been surprised about how much she looked like Kurusu. But talking to her like this, I realized how different she was. The way her expression was constantly changing, and the way she was always slightly overreacted, was actually more like Maori. Was that because they were mother and child?
そのクリスの記憶
So,
は
do
よく出て
Kurusu's
くるのか？
memories come out often?
うん
Yeah, a lot more than they used to, maybe.
そうか。
ねえオカリ
Hey, Okarin, what's gonna happen to
本来
Kagari?
ならちゃんとした専
Normally,
門
the
機
best
関で
thing we could
検
do
査
was
し
to
て
get
もら
her
うの
looked
が
at
一
by
番
a
いい
team
ん
of
だろう。
specialists. But given her position, it wasn't that easy.
あんまり検査はし
I
た
don't
く
really
な
want
い
an
な
exam. That was all I did when I was little.
そうなのか？
Yeah. Yep.
PTSD
They said it was
を
to
治すた
treat
め
my
だって言って
PTSD. So she didn't seem eager to be looked at either, huh? If more of Kurusu's memories woke up, what would happen to her? Would she be Kagari Shina with the memories of Kurusu Makise? Or would she become Kurusu Makise? A person's personality was more than just the sum of their memories, but memories were an important part of it. Once she had Kurusu's memories, what would happen to her? At this point, no one knew. It was quite possible that up until now, no one had ever shared a person's memories before.
あ、マユリちゃん時間
Oh, Mayuri, it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And if you're this far in, you haven't heard my spiel yet, it's coming again. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. We play a lot of roguelike and visual novel stuff if you're into that. And who knows, maybe we'll throw some other games in there eventually. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.